Doom and gloom has struck. It is summer. We got our vacation
Yeah.
shirts on because I don't know if I can watch any more of this baseball season. We are cursed. This is the Deferred Collusion Podcast. I'm your host, Branden Bullinger. With me, as always, my dear friend, your co-host, your other host. I don't know how to phrase it.
People are saying the other guy.
I'm
When
calling
people
him.
come up to me, they say, "Hey, is that the other guy on Deferred Collusion?"
If you want to call him the other guy, just remember it's
Yeah.
Jesse Rowe, baby.
Yeah.
The pride of Northridge.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, dude. The Crespi kid,
Yeah.
Jesse. It's the darkest day
Yeah.
since October, really.
It's been a bad weekend. No question.
It's been tough. How are you holding up?
I'm doing okay. It's not just that it's like it was a tough weekend for Dodger fans. We just won 9-1 against the Rockies, so we bounced back very well. But I
think
had to
the
watch.
final. Sorry, I think the final was 9-5.
Oh, I blacked out when JP Fireeisen took the mound and gave up like just hit after hit after hit. You're right, it was 9-5. That's how bad this was. I had to watch the Boston Celtics win the most nonsense NBA finals of my lifetime. Just no competition, just a horrible NBA finals. No resistance on the way to the championship. The same weekend that Yoshinobu, Yamamoto, and Mookie Betts go down. It was just like, it was just horrible. It was just horrible. I will say this. I'm optimistic, but like, but at the same time, I didn't have to actually be there when all of this went down, whereas you had to actually be there and see it happen.
Jesse, I went for an early Father's Day gift. My first Father's Day, my daughter's 7 months old, took my dad, my mom, my wife. We're going to see Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So excited. Has a great first inning. Second's great. Kind of noticed something weird. That's not a 25-year-old Japanese pitcher on the mound. That's a young man by the name of Michael Grove. What's happening? There was no announcement from the speaker, like your attention, please. Now pitching like number 50. There was none of that.
That was actually pretty good, by the way. What's that guy's name? I forget his name.
I forget. We'll edit it.
I'll look it up.
Much respect. One of my favorites in the game. But the collective sales were winless in Dodger Stadium. It was blown out of us. It was tough.
Todd
Immediately you start
name,
worrying, is this going to be TJ? Is this, you find out it's shoulder stuff. Still a little bit nerve-wracking, but I'm holding out that it's just a strain. That's okay. But it gets compounded. Michael Grove gets hurt, so he's on the IL now. And Sunday comes along, and my Mookie, Bob, not my Mookie.
Let's slow down here.
98 miles an hour, up and in, fractures the hand. One Mookie Betts.
So, by the way, his name is Todd Lights. That's the name of the public address announcer at Dodger Stadium. He's one of the best in the business, Todd Lights. So,
love you, Todd.
Before
Hope to have you on the pod, Todd.
Texted you because you were at the Dodger game, and I was texting you, and I was like, the thing I said was, I saw Dave Roberts walking out after the Dodgers hit in the second inning. I was like, why is Doc walking to the mound right now? And then you just responded, WTF. Was all you said, and I was like, "Oh no, okay, so I'm right. Something's wrong here."
Yep.
So we got word that it was a tricep strain. That's what we were told. And then after the game, before the next day, he gets imaging done. Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets imaging done, and we're told that it's a rotator cuff injury. And not only is he going on the 15-day IL, but so is Michael Grove.
Michael Grove, yeah.
Who followed him in that game. So you have to wonder, did getting ready super early and unprepared hurt Michael Grove too? Because he had to get ready super fast. He had to just come in unexpected. It gets weirder than that. I was looking at some tweets from some beat reporters that apparently Yamamoto told Mark Prior or told the Dodgers translator that he had been feeling the same tricep injury deal that he was dealing with that pushed his start back a couple of days, but it was not relayed to Dave Roberts somehow. So there was some miscommunication here. Something happened where there was some clear miscommunication. I'm not saying that would have not resulted in Yamamoto going on the IL.
Yeah.
Clearly some bad communication here with the Dodgers translators and Mark Prior and Dave Roberts. Or just a shit show. And then, so we get that. And then, like you said, Mookie Betts takes a 98-mile-an-hour fastball off the wrist, fractures his hand. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. So it is doom and gloom for the Dodgers right now.
Yeah, this is a full-blown our pets' heads are falling off scenario right now. This is awful. It's we sold the kid a dead bird. That's what it feels like. It's just it's
Petey is the bird's name.
It is Petey. We love you, Petey. R.I. Petey. Looking like it's gonna be 6 to 8 weeks. Mookie's gonna be out. Yoshinobu, they're saying he's on the 15-day, but it's kind of gonna be a wait and see. I'm expecting something closer to Bobby Miller's time frame, which I think has been 6 weeks.
Yeah,
he's coming back
4 to 6, right?
Yeah, but it was longer than initially at least hinted at, right? Look, this is a little bit of a conspiratorial-minded podcast. I do say, look, I don't know how much of this is contributed to getting early ready and being in Korea and rushing your spring training. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but is there some domino effect going on? I hope not. Obviously, with Mookie getting the high heat to the hand, that's a freak baseball injury. It happens. You hate to see it. But with so many pitchers on the IL this year, any kind of deviation from normalcy seems to be a contributing factor to breaking down over the course of a grinding 162.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, look, obviously nobody wants to hear rotator cuff. That's the worst possible.
Especially
I mean, not the worst possible. It's horrible. Here's the thing. It went from like when they Dodgers announced, oh, it's a tricep strain. I was like, oh, okay, I can live with that. Okay, this is a brief IL stint. But then when they put him on the IL for a rotator cuff injury, I was like, come on, man. This is like, because it's not just like, okay, maybe it's only 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, whatever. He'll be back by late August, early September. He'll be there for October. But it's like, is this like a bigger deal than I realized it was? Because this is his first year in Major League Baseball. I was actually looking at a stat that he hadn't really thrown his slider at all in Major League because he was throwing so many fastball splitters combos, and he really ramped up his slider in his last start. And then one start later, he has rotator cuff issues. It's like, well, that's not a good sign. I mean, that concerns me. I'm still on the positive side of things. I still think that I'm hoping they nipped it in the bud early to where it's not like a major problem. But man, this sucks. It just sucks because you want to know what really, not just that, what kind of player you have, what kind of team you have, and we're just getting healthy finally. We don't even have Muncy. We don't have Gratterall. We don't have the Dodgers are in a weird space right now. Where they're 9 games up in the division now because the Padres lost today. The Dodgers won, so they're 9 games up.
Wow.
But they're not in any way the team that we think they're going to be by October.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are not the juggernaut that anyone expected them to be. A great team, yes. Yeah. Top heavy, absolutely. But the jury's out on the bottom half of that lineup. So Miggy Rowe's been great. Shohei is.
I have a great stat about Miggy Rowe, by the way. Remind me.
Yeah. Definitely. I know you've been tough on Gavin Lux, but I've really been liking his at bats lately. The quality of cut looks good. Even just the way the ball's been getting off the bat in some outs has been nice. I'm hoping it continues and we just get further and further away from that injury. I still think Lux can be special for this team. But that said, I feel like there is no way around the Dodgers being aggressive at the trade deadline.
Right.
I thought they would have been more looking for some ancillary pieces, maybe an impact left-handed arm. I don't know why I said left-handed arm. What was that? Just a left-handed pitcher, starter, preferably. I'm thinking maybe a
I
Mr.
think you're wanting
Crochet.
Crochet is what you're saying. Like
I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there. I think that is the move. But it obviously doesn't address your middle infield hole. I still don't know the timetable for Muncy. Kevin Biggio, I'm sure, is just as capable on a defensive side. But already, I know he had his first Dodger RBI tonight against the Rockies, so that at the time of taping, so that's good. But yeah, some rough Ks on Saturday. Just watching, at least swing the bat is what I'd love. But I'm still thinking he could do something. But my point is, I don't think Kevin Biggio is the answer for the Dodger needs. I don't think it's a Luis Roberts at all. But even then, I don't know who do you think they target? What makes sense for the Dodgers right now?
It's a matter of who's available, right? Because like before the season started, everybody's talking about Willy Adames and trading with the Brewers, who traded away Corbin Burns. There was people talking about the Dodgers would get Corbin Burns and Willy Adames together in a package. Well, Brewers traded Corbin Burns.
Fiction.
Right. They traded Corbin Burns, and the Brewers are leading the division right now. And Willy Adames is raking. They're not trading Willy Adames at this point, so the Dodgers aren't getting him. Paul DeJong is an option that I've heard floated around that could be potential as like a shortstop fill-in, move Mookie over to second. But the problem is, where does that leave room for Gavin Lux? Gavin Lux wouldn't be a part of that equation.
Yeah.
Miguel Rojas, you mentioned him. Dodgers are 20-0 when Miguel Rojas gets a hit.
That's insane.
20-0 when he gets a hit. They're 24-29 when he doesn't. So, I don't know what that means, or 24-28. I don't know their exact record, but now obviously that's like one of those like butter knife stats they call them. That's like, you're not, it doesn't really mean a whole lot, but I do think that it just goes to show that if you're just serviceable, then the Dodgers just need serviceable right now. They don't necessarily need Luis Robert, who's going to hit a bunch of homers, but also strike out a lot. One thing about Luis Robert, I do think he'd be a good move, but I think that he is going to cost too much. I just don't see, he's not a Friedman player, a guy that strikes out a bunch and doesn't walk. Like that just doesn't feel like an Andrew Friedman guy to me. Right? Like,
he got rid of
trade away top prospects for a guy that doesn't walk and strikes out a lot. So even if he does hit a lot of homers, I think what the Dodgers are going to do, they're going to try to wait it out to get Mookie healthy, Yamamoto healthy, and maybe make a move for a guy like a Paul DeJong to like hold him over, play some shortstop, maybe Bo Bichette, which I know you've mentioned before. I don't love it. I feel like it's the same issue that the Luis Robert issue thing is that
too expensive. It's just kind of lateral. Yeah. You're not.
And I know that sounds Moneyball-ish, but it's just true. I just think that matters in terms of how the Dodgers are going to evaluate potential trades. So especially if they're going to give away top prospects capital for them. So
there is a type of player that they need. Like I'm not saying that they could get him right now because the cost would be high, but like a CJ Abrams type, like a high contact, versatile, speedy guy,
Yeah. Well, I think that Abrams has been so good. The Nationals, they're not going to trade him. I know.
No, I agree. I'm not saying they could get him right now.
Bo Bichette should be a CJ Abrams type of player, but he's just had a bad year. You have to wonder, is that because of the team he's on? It's just like a bad culture where the Blue Jays just are kind of stuck in the quagmire right now, and they need these players need to just get out of there. Maybe that's the case. And maybe Bo Bichette does better in a different situation. Who knows? But either way, it's like that being said, I still feel like the Dodgers are fine. Like I'm just more so concerned about, is Yamamoto going to be the same when he comes back, coming from a rotator injury? Does he need to come back this season for him to, like, we need him this season, but is he going to be what we need him to be this season? That's the problem. So, I want to shift the conversation over because Mookie Betts, you mentioned, was like your MVP. It's really interesting because right now the two MVP, I was listening to another podcast, and the two MVPs right now would probably be DHs. Shohei Ohtani and Marcell Ozuna would probably be the two DH.
Marcell Ozuna of the Braves.
Right, yeah. He'll tell you himself. Two of the MVP leaders would be, along with maybe Ketel Marte. Bryce Harper is going to probably insert
Ketel Marte is having a great year.
But Ozuna and Ohtani are having the two best offensive years right now out of anybody in the NL. And they're both DHs. So we'd have two guys who are DHs because Mookie's going to be out for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. They just announced it. Could you imagine a Shohei versus Marcell Ozuna MVP race? You got to imagine MLB wants nothing to do with Marcell Ozuna winning the MVP, right? It's going to, if that's the case.
Hey, it's an international game, whatever.
Yeah, but I just don't see it. I don't see them wanting to plant their flag on Ozuna being the MVP.
Who, that knucklehead Marcell, who gets into some goofy situations, right?
You kicked Bauer out of the game. You kicked who else? Julio Urias out of the game. You don't really want to give an MVP to Marcell Ozuna and set that precedent when you've already done that. So.
Well, I remember there was, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Aroldis Chapman was on the Reds, the Dodgers were trading for him,
right,
and actually halted a trade because of a domestic violence investigation against Chapman. I want to say that might have been 2015 or 16.
It was around the same time the Cubs won the World Series. I don't remember if it was that year or if it was the next year, because the Yankees ended up picking him up, which was, I think, 2017.
Yeah, so this might have been 2015 then, because he was still on the Reds. He hadn't been traded yet.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, but then again, we would have to believe that the MLB would be capable of having some sort of uniformity in their rules and bylaws and standards of how they're enforced. But this has been anything but for their umpiring and what word did you use earlier? The quagmire? Yeah, it's quite a quagmire. Yeah, great use. Great word. We find ourselves in quite the quagmire with the umpiring situation. I find it will lead us indubitably into robot umpires. What say you, Jesse?
Indubitably. Is that what is that?
I don't know, dude. Shakespeare?
Okay. Yeah. That's true. I'm pretty sure Shakespeare did say that. No, you know who said it? Who's that guy that was pretending to be no. Shakespeare's his alter ego. What was that guy's name? Do you remember that?
Billy Shakespeare.
No, hold on.
Like Garth Brooks's
exactly.
Ego?
Shakespeare alter ego. He
Anthony
had an alter
Kiedis.
ego.
It's Anthony Kiedis, dude. I'm telling you.
It's not showing up, and I don't know why. Okay, forget it. Whatever. But yes, it's Garth Brooks meets Chris Gaines. It's the same thing as what you're talking about.
That's right.
Right. Either way, I'm not super concerned. I'm worried.
And I'll be honest, Jesse, I feel a lot of emotion in your heart, and I see it in your eyes. You're going through it. You're wearing the Dodger hat. I'm proud of you. You're repping LA.
Yeah.
Celtics just won a championship. Mookie's hurt.
Yeah.
Yamamoto's hurt. Grove is hurt. But
that was when Grove went down. That's what really pissed me off. That was unexpected. That was just unexpected.
But on the bright side, at least Jerry West didn't have to live to see any of this.
Jerry West did not have to live to see the Celtics. Jerry West would rather die than watch the Celtics win another championship. All right.
Miss you.
So we
Let's continue, Jesse. I'm blue,
yeah.
dude.
I do want to talk about this because we've recorded. This was a few days ago, so we're recording a few days after the fact. So other people have covered this already, but there was an anonymous poll that was done amongst players.
Yes.
About who the most overrated players in baseball are, which, I think is like a setup in a way. Like, why would you conduct this poll? Like, what's the point of this? Like, what are you trying to do? You're just trying to create it. You're just obviously trying to create a headline and then piss off a player that's in the league. Baseball's a hard sport. Like, let's be fair.
You're trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah. Jazz Chisholm was picked as the #1 most overrated player in baseball by his peers, which has to suck for Jazz Chisholm to see that. Miguel Rojas is very vindicated right now. I'm sure Miguel Rojas is very happy to hear that. But
vindicated dashboard confessionals.
One guy did say that Juan Soto is the most overrated player in baseball. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, because I do have some thoughts, because there was another report that he's potentially going to get $500 million to $600 million in the offseason, which
that is such a spicy meatball. Jesse, my first thought is that, all right, is this really just one guy saying it? Is this the one guy that had the gumption to say it to The Athletic, or is it just one salty ex-teammate, maybe a Padre or something?
Right.
I don't know, but it does get me thinking about another young superstar, one Bryce Harper. Kind of been living as the most overrated and underrated player in baseball for what feels like a decade now. But with this massive contract looming, I feel like Soto has kind of planted himself as this lightning rod in that sense. Like, is he overrated? Is anybody worth this contract? Look at Shohei. There are so many people that want to jump on he's a degenerate gambler, he pays the fall guy, yada, 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 just because they think that he shouldn't be paid that much. It's going to happen with Soto as well. And I think there's going to be a lot of detractors from his skill. But that said, there's no denying his mark that he's made on the Yankees this year. They're night and day. That's what the Padres were hoping they were getting with Soto. And yeah, maybe that's a little bit because of team chemistry and just composition, maybe. But maybe sometimes just a guy's a right fit. Maybe Soto knew he was never going to get those big bucks from the Padres, and he apparently thinks he's going to get it from somebody in New York.
Well, I saw, so there was another report. Like, the reason why I brought it up is 2 weeks ago, there's another report that some front office people thought that he'd potentially get a $500 to $600 million offer. And if that's the case, I think that's a massive overpay. Like, yeah. I'm not saying that I think that Juan Soto is like a scrub that doesn't know. He obviously is like going to be the best free agent in the offseason this year. He's going to get a ton of money. He's going to help a team win. It's probably going to be the Yankees or the Mets. Like, those are the two teams that I think it's going to be. But $600 million for a guy that is probably going to be a DH in 2 years. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, what about Ohtani? Yeah, but Ohtani's going to be pitching for the next 4 to 5. Yes. And Ohtani was also pitching for 4 to 5 years in the lead up to him getting this contract. Ohtani is also a better hitter than Juan Soto. I'm not saying that like anything controversial here. Like, Juan Soto walks a lot, and so he gets on base a lot, and he hits 30 to 35 homers. He's not a like 350, 45 homer guy. He could be if he tried to be, but he is a guy that would prefer to take close pitches and draw walks than swing at them like his teammate Aaron Judge would. And I don't know. Some people are going to disagree with that, but I think he prefers to work counts more than he does to attack them. And that's an issue that I've had with him for a while. Is I think he's a great player. He's obviously one of the top 4 or 5 players in baseball. But I like it. He would prefer to work counts than attack them, and that's not going to result in a ton of power. It's not going to result in a ton of output. It's going to result in a ton of on base, and on base percentage is a great stat, but it's not always a productive one. And
it's not the sexiest,
yeah, well, it's not always productive. It is productive in like a long-term outlook. It's not always productive in a short-term outlook. I think it's kind of what I'm getting at. So sometimes you need Juan Soto to swing the bat, and he doesn't do it. I think he's amazing, but I just think that
what do you think he's going to get?
Paying him $600 million is absurd.
Whoever thought that is brass tacks. Give me a number. What do you think he gets? Put your GM on.
I would be fine with Juan Soto getting like a 14-year, $450 million deal. I think that's fine. Like, I think that's fine. It's like, would it still kind of be an overpay? Like, considering he's getting like more than Bryce Harper or Mookie Betts, yeah. But I also think that the Ohtani contract like kind of reset the market a little bit.
I agree.
But I also think that the Ohtani contract is so unique that you're paying for a guy that's going to get you international endorsements for the next 10 years. You're not getting that with Juan Soto. You're not getting Japanese TV deals and like advertising deals and, Japanese corporate deals. Like that's what Ohtani brought in.
Soto's I did see a lot of Yakult drinks being advertised at the Dodger game.
Said the occult. I thought you said
not the occult. Yakult, the YA.
Yeah.
The little milky shooty shoots.
Yeah, listen to this. The Dodgers have brought in Ohtani I gotta look this up. Japanese.
They got a little barbecue, or not barbecue, but like deals. A little like concession stand now that's in Japanese, and it just says DH17. And then everything's in Japanese, and I just think it serves Dodger dogs, but it's like, oh shit, they're leaning into it. I dig it.
I saw a thing that like apparently there were like the Dodgers have gotten like something like 7 or 8 Japanese companies that have come in and done deals with the Dodgers from Ohtani alone.
Wow.
And that doesn't include Yamamoto. So I just don't think that that's the case with Soto. That's why Shohei is getting this extra. You just got to look at him as a whole different thing. Shohei's his own economy.
It's true.
It's true. I just thought whoever said that was ridiculous, but
I think Soto's going to get just under 500 million. I think he's going to stick out for it, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be maybe in the 490s.
But it'll be 13 to 14 years.
Agreed. I think it'll be 14 to 15.
You can't do 10 years, 490 million. That's absurd. It has to be
even if you defer a lot of that.
Yeah. Hey, we're a big fan of deferred money over here.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Deferred Collusion Pod. Hey,
the Yankees, though, they do have some good news. Garrett Cole is back this week, so he's going to be making his return. So he did not need Tommy John surgery, so he will be back. So we do have Garrett Cole, the reigning AL Cy Young winner, will be back for the Yankees. So
that's good news.
Yeah.
Congrats, you coastal elites. We're talking all about LA and New York today.
Yeah.
Sorry, rest of the country.
One guy comes in, one guy goes out, and then they lose Anthony Rizzo for 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured hand. So
I know he's been struggling for the last, I think, like what would be a full season in terms of games, but we love Rizzo.
Struggling for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Riz. Feel better. Hopefully come back and get back into form, huh?
But yeah, so we got a few returns. Like Scherzer is coming back. DeGrom threw on the mound. So we do have it's like 2017 all over again, Brandon.
Yeah. Kershaw's got
DeGrom, Cole, they're all coming back. Kershaw's coming back in a month.
Kershaw's got some games coming up, some rehab starts. There's a lot on the horizon. To be excited about. A lot of healthy guys coming back, and hopefully, we'll see him get to form. Walker Buehler still fighting to get back into, his high level, but there's been plenty in his starts that I think looks good. I know we're a few days late on this, but he lost a matchup to old friend Corey Seager back at Dodger Stadium. Gave up a 3-run jack up the seats. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Miss you, Siegs. His swing is as pretty as ever, but I think Bueller's going to be all right. I kind of see some of that dog starting to eat in him a little bit.
Yeah, that was hard. Sorry, that was hard to watch, man. Watching Steger smash Bueller like that. That was hard to watch. That was like it's almost like I was about to compare it to putting old Yeller out behind the woodshed. It was just hard. It was like watching your dad get beat up. I think we've
No,
made
that's
this
like when
comparison.
Kershaw gives up 6
I
runs.
know
the
you've
first
you've
inning of
made
a
that
playoff game.
comparison before.
But no, I get that it's hard just because it's bittersweet. But I didn't find it that hard. Bueller's rehabbing back. Seager's the reigning World Series MVP.
It's just
He's
because
got a
it was
little more
Seager.
juice. I get it. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, it was great. I was there the night he started in place of Jimmy Rollins. It was like one of mine and Marina's first dates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time travel.
Yeah. That's a good first date, though.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't our first date, but it was a good one.
You know what I was there for, by the way?
Hmm.
I was there for Bryce Harper's first hit.
Wow.
He hit a triple to center field over Matt Kemp. Triple to center field. I'm pretty sure if you Googled that right now, it would be Bryce Harper triples to center field. Pretty.
We're gonna edit in.
I don't know if it was like against Randy Wolf or something like that. I forget who the pitcher was,
Wolfman.
but that was pretty cool. I remember watching Harper's first at bat in the majors. That was pretty cool. Have you ever been there for is there like a memory that you have at a baseball?
I was there for
I'm watching
Kershaw's like 300K game a few years back. Well, that was like 9 years ago now. I was there for that. Man, I feel like I was there when Giancarlo Stanton hit the ball at the stadium, but I'm not
positive. Oh my God. Bolsinger. I was off Mike Bolsinger, right? Is that who was it? Who was?
No, you know what? The biggest one I was there for was back in, man, was it 08 maybe? But when the Dodgers came back and walked off the Cardinals off of a little flare to left field. Was it Matt Holliday?
No. Holliday. He dropped it. Jamie Carroll.
Yeah,
who hit it, right? It was Jamie Carroll who hit it. Yeah.
And then I think Loney would walk it off or something like that.
Yeah, Holliday dropped it, and then they tied the game. And then, oh no, I'm sorry, you're right. It was Jamie Carroll who got the game-winning hit. That's what it was.
It was insane, dude. It was absolutely madness. And I was getting chirped by a Cardinals fan that was sitting behind me all game.
Yeah.
And boy, did that dog shit coward scurry out.
Fuck him.
You know what I saw at Dodger Stadium? And I saw this guy get just booed for it. But late game, I think it's like the bottom of the 8th, maybe top of the 9th. But there's beach balls going around. Kids are still hitting them. And this guy a couple rows ahead of us caught it, pulled out his keys and stabbed it and just got buried. Got booed so hard, him and his buddy left pretty quick after. And his buddy was getting booed so hard, he was like, "What did I do?" Some woman like screamed at him, cussed him out. It was one of the most man tantrumy things I've ever seen a grown man do.
Yeah.
But boy, did the crowd just eat him alive. Have you ever seen somebody just make a public faux pas like that?
You mentioned something. So I get uncomfortable, like Zach Hampel, when I see clips of Zach Hampel, the guy that catches baseballs that steals them from kids and stuff. I get very uncomfortable when I see those clips. But you sent me a clip of something that made me very uncomfortable. It was sorry. So first, it was the fan that got ejected from the College World Series game.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched it yet. I want to talk about, though, another one that made me uncomfortable. Triston Casas post-game interview, or his in-game interview for Father's Day. So I know this is a terrible segue, but I really wanted to talk about this. So
yeah, I know. Talk to me about this. That Triston Casas interview was crazy.
His dad, when he was in Little League, his dad was giving him shit in game and then dragged him off the field or something like that.
It kicked him off the field.
Kicked him off the field, and then one of the moms called Child Protective Services on him. Is that what happened?
And got him arrested. Yeah.
What a weird story to share on Father's Day.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like my immediate thought was, I wonder if there's something going on in their hometown, and he's like, clearing the air for Pop and telling this endearing story that, as you kind of tell it, sounds really fucking crazy, right? The first guy that pops in my head is like the Randy Marsh, like, "Ooh, you want to go? You want to go?" Like, "Oh, sorry, right. America." Like the drunk, obnoxious, like travel ball dad.
There's something weird going on. No. I feel like there's going to be
maybe not.
You said this to me yesterday. There's going to be like an investigation now into his dad. If there's like something else going on, I think
he's going to get audited or something.
He's a weird guy. I saw there were some fans that were giving him shit for when he's recovering from injury. He was in the dugout for a full game, standing in the dugout, like pretending like he's hitting while the pitcher is pitching, and like the whole game, like literally all 9 innings, he's standing in the dugout, pretending like he's hitting. And somebody made a comment about how annoying that must be. And there were a lot of Red Sox fans that were like, on the fence. Half of them were upset, and half of them were like, "Yeah, dude, this guy's fucking weird." Like,
it is weird.
This is a weird guy. So I don't know. It was just weird. I was like, why would you share that story about your dad? Your dad sounds like an asshole.
It is wild, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little, it's
like
a lot
on Father's Day. Like your dad sounds like a prick.
I wonder if he is just like the nicest guy though.
Might
like
be.
He's a big sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he donates a lot of time to children with terminal illness. It's like, oh my God.
This is just me. I'm just, you know what? I feel bad. I feel like I'm just like shitting on people because I'm so upset about what's going on.
No, let it out of your heart, Papas.
So whatever.
I've seen some really good memes just about like Mookie and like being injured. You thought he died, some of these memes are, it's a sad day.
What is this? Let's end here. Let's end on something positive here, right?
Let's keep it positive. Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
You sent me an article about how fans in Tokyo waited 6 hours to try Shohei Ohtani's favorite burger from In-N-Out. What was it? I didn't read it. I have not looked at it.
I think it's the standard double. I think it's the standard, but I think you had a few variants. You could probably get grilled onions and whatnot, but it made me think: what's the longest you've ever waited for food? Like for like a trendy spot, right? Like people waiting 6 hours for In-N-Out. I would never wait that long. I love In-N-Out, but one of the incredible things about In-N-Out is that it's just that. It's pretty quick. Even the drive-through line might be 20, 30 minutes, but all things considered, pretty good. What's your top tier that you're waiting for?
It's weird. I think living in LA, because we have so many spots like that, I've sort of like carved out a life for myself where I just don't do it. Where I like very much have my basic spots. I'll say this. So the number one Thai food spot in LA is called Anajak. You might have heard of it. It's right here in Sherman Oaks. And I used to go to it all the time. And then it became the number one Thai food in LA.
Wow.
And now I can't go there anymore. And it's literally a 5-minute walk from my apartment. So that's infuriating to me. The fact that a place that's right next to my apartment, I literally have to get like weeks out in advance reservations to eat there now.
Wow.
So that's probably the most I've ever done, just because I really do like that spot. But my wife and I have switched to another Thai food spot that's just down the street. It's not as good, but it's like, if I need takeout, I'm not going to go wait for 2 hours to get takeout. I'm just not going to do it.
Let me ask you this. If you found out that there was going to be a pop-up for Shohei Ohtani's like favorite ramen spot, and it was going to be in LA for a week, would you go try it out?
Multiple days, and I'd be there at 3 a.m.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I got to go try Ohtani's Grand Slam noodles.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think if it's just a double. Did
Let me ask you this,
Did
dude.
they ship this in and out to Japan?
It looked like they sent out some staff because I saw a Hispanic dude serving up smiles and burgers. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that guy's from San Gabriel Valley, dude.
They send out a guy from the San Gabriel Valley to
Well, I think that's what they do.
Okinawa.
I think that's the in and out way, if you will, is they send people from other busy stores to go handle it so you get that quality.
Spreading burgers and Christianity.
Who, someone's got to. Those
Yeah.
shakes ain't gonna, stay 100% hand scooped ice cream by themselves, dude. The Lord's in on that too, brother.
Right. Yeah. Did you how old are you when you first saw like the bottom of the In-N-Out cup and you realized like you looked at the bottom of it and you were like, oh, I see what's going on here.
I think I was probably like a teenager. It's just one of those things that it's like, oh look, dude, they're trying to brainwash you, dude.
Yeah.
Subliminal
Never
messaging
stopped
and
me.
whatnot was the I don't care.
Yeah.
It's good, whatever. Is the food good? Great. God loves me.
They should put an In-N-Out Dodger Stadium.
This is something that I got thinking though, like how much of that bump for the In-N-Out was just because of the hype of In-N-Out and its own brand name, and how much of it was the extra bump in Tokyo because it's Shohei Ohtani's favorite?
Yeah, well, I think that Japan probably, I don't know. Do you think In-N-Out was like universally known, internationally known, or is it nationally known?
I would say
because like I do know
nationally.
people from like out of state, for example, like that come into LA and they're like, "Oh, I want to try In-N-Out."
Yeah.
Like the same
Japan
way we
is
know that like Carl's Jr. is Hardee's in other states. It's not Carl's
Japan.
Jr.
Japan is like a foodie kind of nation.
Yeah.
Like cuisine is very, up. It's a priority, right? It's something you do. Japanese people spend a lot of time eating, and food is incredible. But it makes me just wonder, dude, like how long before we get like a Shohei Ohtani / like Mr. Beast crossover type pop-up food experience, dude. The Shohei Ohtani burger pop-up experience. I'm waiting to see it. We only got another 9 years left on this contract, and he's got to figure out something to do. Shohei, open up a Japanese burger chain in the style of In-N-Out.
I could see it happening. I think wait till the off season.
Decoy burgers. There you go.
Off season, we'll see that. We'll see something like that. So
that'd be rad. Mr. Beast, Shohei Ohtani, get together. We're your guys. Deferred Collusion. It's been another episode. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you do whatever you do. Just don't forget to tune into your boys. Jesse, I'm Brandon. Deferred Collusion. It's been a pleasure, bud. I love
that when we're talking about burgers and food, it's just because we're depressed and we're just trying to end it on a happy note in some way.
Yeah, I got some German chocolate cake ice cream waiting for me, dude.
There you go.
About to get in on it.
Anyways, well, hey,
feel better, Mookie. Feel better, Yoshinobu. We love you, brother. Get better.
Happy belated Father's Day to all the daddies out there.
That's right, dude. Happy
Especially
Father's
the
Day,
zaddies
guys.
like Branden Bullinger.
Aw, Jess. Thanks, bud.
All right.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.